Jackie Steele, Jackieesteele, for anyone who has remotely any time for that. I know it's LA and I'm not off book. And I also thought since we're rolling everything back, I'd go off of a Word document, so just deal with it. There's a lot to say and there's a lot that's been said. We are going to hear plenty of people talk tonight about women's rights. We're going to have a lot of people talk tonight about reproductive rights. We're going to talk about healthcare. But let's be clear, reproductive rights are LGBTQ rights. Does anyone here not think marriage equality is next? Show of hands. I didn't think so. This is all of our fight. Interracial marriage is on the table. Everything is on the table. But spoiler alert, nothing about that has changed, okay? We have never had equity in this country, period. When women gained the right to vote, it was white women. When we had advances in health care, it was those with the most privilege first and always. Too often, leaving others behind. If we're not talking about access for trans men, we're not getting it. If we're not talking about the abominable way the healthcare system treats black women in this country to this day, we're not getting it. We have to create an existence that is equitable for all of us. It is all of us or it is none of us. And it is time that we all get it. The second thing I want to say is, what are we doing here? What are we even doing here? There's 150 happy hours so close. And yet we're doing this. We're here because we have allowed an inequitable society to thrive under the false narrative of control and empty promises. And if you don't get that, you ask a black neighbor, friend, or coworker if they're shocked by this reduction of rights or lack of access. You will be met probably with a chuckle if anyone has the energy for it. The second is we have allowed politicians, lobbyists, and corporations to run amok with our rights and our freedoms. We don't need acceptance, we need liberation. All of us or none of us. This is not a moment for politicians to campaign or make speeches. It's not a moment for corporations to tell you that they support women. You ask them how. You ask them when. You demand to see what their teams look like. How many women, LGBTQ folks, BIPOC folks are on those teams? Yes. Where do the dollars go? How do they use their voice when it matters? Not when there's cameras, not when there's a hashtag, when it's hard, when it costs them something, when it's not the popular thing to do. Question their spending. Question performative versus performance-based allyship at every turn. Yes. And I love all of you, but I'm going to question everything, as I always do, including what is right behind me. I am not going to say women's rights are human rights. I'm going to say human rights are human rights. Yes. And I'm not going to say I stand for a woman's right to choose, because I stand for everyone's right to choose. Yes. And finally, before I go, I want to ask you, what are you doing? What are you all doing? What are you doing to stand up for women, women-identified folks, LGBTQ folks in the BIPOC community every single day? How are you challenging and checking and empowering and advancing and implementing in your spaces? We are under threats right now tonight. Nazis are talking about attacking us across the country. Well, guess what? Queers, accomplices, and allies, you better buckle up and get a little bit more militant for this fight. It's time to build a new narrative. When we talk about reproductive rights, we have to talk about all of us. When we talk about sexual assault, that means everybody. That means gay men. That means trans men. This is not one person's issue. This is our community issue. So change the narrative. Get smart and start working together. We have the numbers. There's no question about it. So ask yourselves, why are we here? Think about how you can change the narrative. Think about your privilege. Think about your access. Think about how you use your voice when it matters every single time. And use it loudly. Skip the hashtags, buckle up, and get involved. Question politicians, question brands, question corporations. You make them earn every single dime. Yeah! And every single vote. And you demand equity at every turn, because it is all of us or it is none of us. Thank you.
dear feminist friend, activist and actress. You'll know her from the hit show Queer as Folk. She played Melanie Marcus, Michelle Clooney.
Hi, that's Michelle, M-I-C-H-E.